What's up, fellas? It's your boy Dark Kel coming to you from the rig with another informative video. Fellas, today, this video, I'm basically going to talk about the requirements and my journey and what I've gone through in the process of opening my own authority. For those of you who are thinking about doing it or want to do it, or maybe if you're ready, maybe you don't know the process. So I'm going to get into details in this video of my experience opening my authority and what I've been going through, and what to do and what not to do. So we're gonna be talking about that. So it might get a little steep, but it's a very informative video. You know what I'm saying? And that's what YouTube is for, man. So let's get started. So if you guys saw my last video, you know that I mentioned that I opened my own authority. I made a purchase. I bought a truck, and I'm gonna be staying in Maybach here with my Classic. I opened my authority basically to get extra revenue, and the plan was to go there, but I ended, the cars lined up for me, and I was able to get a driver and all that jazz. So, but let's talk about authority. So check this out, fellas. So I'm gonna first give you a list of the requirements, what you need to have here to operate under your own authority. First, you need a DOT and your MC number, which you get through the FMCSA website. You're gonna need a Boc3 form, which we're gonna talk about more about that form in a minute. You're gonna need a Ucr permit. Okay, that's a yearly thing. You're gonna need plates, IFTA 2290. You're gonna need to also call the EOD service. In my case, I went with Motive, which used to be Keep Trucking. You wanna get the weigh station and easy. That I got the Easy Pass that includes a weigh station as well. So you're gonna want to get that. Sorry, a call came in. So what else? So that's that. You're also gonna need to do the clearinghouse. Now that's a big one. That's the one that caught me off guard, like a left hook to the chin. Boy, I didn't expect that one. But that's a very, very important one that a lot of people don't talk about, is that clearinghouse. You need to have that. You need to be registered with FMCSA with clearinghouse, and we'll get into that as well. And they're requiring some kind of, it's like a 2-hour training. You can do it online. They go for $80 to $100. It's a supervisor training, and what that training is, it's basically to train you in case, this is more for, only the employer does that. It's more for like if you're gonna have employees, it trains you how to look for suspicious acts, which, come on, if someone's on drugs, you're gonna be able to see that. It basically trains you to look for suspicious acts and gives you the right to send people to get drug tested or whatever. So you need to have that permit, and that's a lifetime permit. You get it one time and you're done. All right, so those, and then obviously you're gonna need insurance. I'm gonna talk about what you would need to just operate under your own authority if you own a trailer. And I'm also going to talk about what you need, the requirements that you need to haul Amazon freight, Amazon relay. Two big differences, and we're going to get into that right now. So let's get started. So let's start from the get. So the FMCSA website, you're going to go on there. It's the first thing you want to do, because without your DOT, you can't do none of the other ones. You go on their website and you apply. You apply for the DOT and the MC number, your authority. I never did that before myself, and I didn't have no one help me, so I did it myself. People that do this daily for people, there's people that actually charge you a fee to do it for you, and so basically they'll get through it for like 45 minutes, but expect to be there at least an hour. It took me almost 2 hours to get through the form because it's just a lot, and there was just a lot of tricky questions. You gotta make sure you're filling, you gotta know what you're doing, because you can hit something and it'll be wrong. Like with the interstate and intrastate, there's a difference. That determines whether your authority is going to stay operating in one state and not cross state lines, or you're going to be going out of state, crossing state lines. That's a big one. So there's little things you got to pay attention. So I recommend you find a good YouTube video to guide you through the step on the FMCSA website to do your DOT, your authority application, because that's very important. So it took me about an hour and 45 minutes to get this done, almost 2 hours. It's $300 at the end of the application. It will not let you move forward until you've done everything correct. The little next button won't light up yellow. It'll just stay gray. Once it lights up yellow, then you know that you're ready to move forward. So at the end of the application, when you're at 100%, you're going to pay Uncle Sam. You're going to pay $300 for your authority. You know what I'm saying? That's what it costs. The minute you pay for that, you'll get an email and you'll get your US DOT number. You'll have it right away. It'll be right there. You're officially your authority is officially opened and filed with them, and you have your DOT. Now they won't give you your MC number because your application still has to be reviewed by basically the FMCSA. They have to review it. You know, it has to go to their base and they got to review it. And, you know, unless you got some crazy shit going on, you're going to get approved. But it takes anywhere from 20 to 30 business days. Guys, that's very tricky. Not just 20 to 30 days. 20 to 30 business days. So you got to know that when you're going to open authority, you're going to have about a month or more before you can start operating, okay? So we're going to get into that more too. So I filled it out. It's done. Now I got my authority. I got my DOT number. I'm waiting on the MC number. And you have this time. You don't want to wait till you get that to complete the other forms. A lot of people will say, I'm just going to wait until, you know, I get the thing. So, you know, and then they'll just get delayed. And also, there was some people on YouTube saying that if you delay on getting your insurance, your authority insurance, it delays the process to getting your MC number, which I don't think will stop it from coming. You can still get it, but they actually won't release your MC number, I believe, until you have insurance. But the certificate of approval, you got to wait on that. It takes 20 to 30 business days. So that's done. So the next form that I did is the Boc3 form. Before I move on to that, let me just let you guys know that once you apply for your US DOT, if you're planning on doing so, the instant that you open your authority, you're gonna get a text message, you're gonna get an email, most likely from a company called Folly. Don't push them to the side, don't brush them off, because you can save some money with them, and we're gonna get into that down the line. So let's go to the Boc3 form in case you end up doing everything on your own. So the Boc3 form, what it is more for those people, those authorities that are going to be crossing state lines, which is the majority of us. The bulk of us are going to be going out of state. You need a Boc3 form. What that form is, these are agents that if you get into an accident or something happens in another state, like I'm from Florida, something happens to me, let's say in Georgia, okay, and they're trying to sue, okay. We're in different states, so the laws could be different things. So what these agents step in and they take your case and they basically bring your stuff over to the state and they handle it. That's what the Boc3 form is for. It's a permit you need that. That BOC, you only do that one time. It's not a yearly thing. The only time you'll have to renew your Boc3 form is if you change the entity, the address or the name of your entity. Then you'll need a new Boc3 form. Aside from that, you only need to get it once. And like I said, if you're gonna get an authority, then you already know that you're only gonna operate like locally, then you don't need it. Okay. Now that form, depending on where you're from, you're gonna find it anywhere from $25 to $35. It's not gonna be more than that. That's another thing that's gonna happen. Again, once you get your authority, your phone's gonna get assaulted by insurance companies that want to insure you and they want to reach out to you, and then you're gonna have those those damn leeches. That what they want to do is they want to get to you fast and say, hey, you need to get your Boc3, you got to get your UCR, you can get violated if you don't have those by this time. We can do that for you. They'll lie. They'll say we're a third-party company from the FMCSA, and it's lies. In the very bottom, you can read it says we're not affiliated with the DOT or government in no way. So what they're doing is that they're going to try to sell you that Boc3 form, which I ended up getting from where I'm from in the agency I went with. I got it for $25. They were trying to sell it to $50 for me. Okay, so you gotta but I watched a lot of YouTube videos, I prepared, so I knew what to look for. Then the UCR form, they're gonna wanna offer you that for $100. Again, it depends how many vehicles you have. The UCR form is for, it's so like a tax for your vehicles. And basically I had to pay $57. From 1 to 2 trucks, it's $57. And as you go up in my number of trucks, it goes up. So the UCR form, you're gonna need that. That's an every year thing. You have to renew that permit every year. So the first thing I did was get my Boc3 form. You have to go through an agency. You're not going to be able to get the Boc3 form on your own. You're going to have to hire an agency to file it for you. Okay? In my case, there was a video on YouTube. I don't know the name of the channel, but I know that it was a black lady. She's a trucker, and she had the best one because she actually put a link in the description, which your boy Ducker does not know how to do that. So I'm not even going to say that. There's no links in my description because I don't even know how to do that. I'm just being real. But I went to her link and she had the best video. It took me right to a website and it was $25. Done. You apply for it, you have it within 30 minutes, you have your Boc3 form filled out and it's done. Now the UCR, super easy. 5 minutes, done. You know what I'm saying? Depending on your state, you know what I'm saying? My state, Florida, I only have one truck. It was $57. You go on there, you apply, boom, you're done. You go, that was really easy. So I got the BOC3, I got my UCR, and I got my authority. I got those 3 things out of the way. So the next thing I went for was my EOD device. So I called Keep Trucking, which is no longer Keep Trucking. They are now called Motive. That's the new name. Called them up. They have different packages. They have packages depending on what you want. Some people like having cameras even in their ass. So they have the Pro package, which is like $1,400 for the year. You get all these cameras, you get a load board, you get all this crap, and a lot. It's if you got the money, it's great. But I wasn't gonna drop $1,400 for no damn thing, because the cheapest you can get is $25 a month. Now the actual device, the Keep Trucking little device, which is the EOD, it's only $150. So that's what I was gonna go for. Now the agent convinced me to, not that he convinced me. That's just, to me, it's the best option. The $40 a month plan is the best option for me. It's very simple. You don't have all the cameras and all that stuff, but what you do get is GPS tracking, live GPS tracking on your truck at all times on your phone, and it will also let you know if your truck has a fault code. So if you have a driver, sometimes they won't say nothing because they want to keep making money. If your truck gets a code on there, check engine light code, it will alert the moderator immediately. And I really like that feature, but most of all, I like the GPS feature, because in my case, the guy that's gonna drive my truck is the guy that I trust. He's like a brother to me. So I went with the 40 month plus $150, and the tax, shipped and all, it was $200, shipped and all. So I got EOD out the way. Then you want to call pre-pass or whatever, easy pass, whatever you're gonna go with. I went with the one device, which has tolling and weigh stations all in one from Easy Pass. Got that done. Now we're gonna get into the one that caught me on the chin, caught me off guard and made my knees buckle. I ain't even gonna lie, boy. The clearinghouse. Oh, the clearinghouse, boy. I so underestimated the clearinghouse. Some people go on and they say, oh, the clearinghouse is like anywhere from $185 to $200. So what the clearinghouse is, this is and it's required, because this is your drug test and your random drug test. This is what the DOT uses to make sure that you are in compliance with the FMCSA website, the DOT, that your company is not hiring drug addicts, that you're not a drug addict. This is basically the permit that gives you, that so that they can monitor and make sure that you're, the database that gives you the random drugs. That's what it is. Now, you can do it on your own. You're still gonna spend a pretty penny. All the videos I saw, they said they were only spending like this much, like 160 something, 180 cents, $200. But when those videos were old. When I went, because remember that company Foley that I spoke about in the beginning? I brushed it. They contacted me immediately and said, hey, we are the #1 third-party company to help you, guide you through your authority, especially with the clearinghouse. I disregarded them because I thought that they were just like another seller. So I went on the FMCSA website to do my clearinghouse. So let me tell you guys, the clearinghouse was a headache. Man, 15 minutes in, well, first thing I noticed is that when I went in there to go register, there's a fee per driver, and it's like $270, okay? It's like $270 from what I saw, at least in my state. I'm not sure if it's the same everywhere, but when I put it on there for for 2 drivers, it was like $400 and something bucks. Remember, it's gonna be me, and it's gonna be my driver. I'm gonna put myself on as well as a driver, because if he gets sick or something happens, I'm gonna park the Maybach truck and I'm gonna go work that week, because I'm not gonna mess up with Amazon, because that's what we're aiming for. So 15 minutes in, you gotta be going. They give you instructions. You gotta be going on there, and it was just so much stuff. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna give these people Foley a call, because this is becoming too much. Now your boy Doug Kell is a pretty savvy guy with doing this shit on his own, but when it comes to computers, So I called Foley, and it is the best thing that I did. Now I know there's gonna be those people that they're gonna be like, oh, you got ripped off, this, that. But let me tell you, you get what you pay for, okay? You can do it on your own, but now you'll have to be. I learned so much about the clearinghouse. The DOT requires that you have a drug test on file, that you're clean to work. That's that. But you also have to be reporting to them is something called a query audit, where they want to make sure that your company is staying clean, and you have to sign up for the database to get to get the random drug testing, because random drug tests don't come from the employer unless they're suspicious something, and that's where the training comes from that I talked about earlier. With that supervisor training, if an employer sees and feels like this person's doing drugs, like they're smelling drugs on you, like weed on you, or they feel they can smell alcohol on your breath, you can't just go and accuse someone without proof, because you just can't do that in America. So this training gives you the license to say they train you to be suspicious, but gives you the right to be like, hey, I want you. They can send you in for a drug test due to suspicions, but the random DOT drug test comes from the DOT. You know what I'm saying? From the database. So the clearinghouse is what does that, and if you don't have someone that's monitoring that, you can get violated for that at the end of the year, and that's super important. And let me tell you, at the end of the day, you're going to be paying $175 for the initial pre-employment drug test, $100 for a random drug test. You gotta pay, at least, like I said, when I would have signed up, it was $270 something to register in the clearinghouse. So where we at right now, you're almost at $400 something bucks, $500 bucks. Now that's one driver. So imagine two drivers, $175. You're gonna get random at least once a year. That's another $200 bucks. So now we're about 450 something, plus now we're about another 300. We're 7 something. The random is 100, so it adds up. And now you have to be handling that. So what Folly does is that they do all that for you. Let me tell you what I paid for 2 drivers. I hired Folly. They're like a lawyer. They're like an agency that's going to handle your shit. But they don't just do that. They monitor you. They make sure to watch your medical cards. They're a compliance company. They're going to make sure that you're staying in compliance with the DOT. If they see something wrong on your FMCSA application, they're gonna say, hey, we can fix this. The clearinghouse, they're gonna be on top of that. If you're out in another state and the database randomly selects you for random drug tests, you don't have to deal with the DOT, because Folly is gonna contact you and say, hey, you got selected for random, this truck got selected for random drug tests. Here's the form. They're gonna email it right to your phone. They set it up for you. All you do is go to the location and scan the barcode. That, to me, that's a big plus. And I only paid $990 with tax and all for the services for a whole year. I don't got to worry about the audit at the end, because they handle that. You have to add them as a third party to your company, that they work for you, and DOT deals with them when it comes to clearinghouse. So I think that's an amazing service. It is definitely worth it, because I don't have to deal with that. And here's where we're going to go back to the Boc3 Form, the Boc3C, and the UCR, and the training, that supervisor training. That's all part of the package. Had I called them first, I would not have to have paid for the Boc3 or the UCR, because they would have done it for me. It was part of the package. I already had paid for it, so it's all good. But the supervisor training, that's $85 to $100 bucks, it was part of the package. They set it up for me. Now when I get home, I just gotta go to the computer, do my 2 hours, a 2-hour training. Then you take a little questionnaire at the end, a little test. You pass, everybody passes. You're done with that. You know what I'm saying? You get the certificates for life. It's all part of the package. The agent that calls you, they're super friendly. He makes it very clear to you that he's not just there to sell your product and disappear. That will be your agent. You want to build a relationship with them. His name was Kyle. Amazing dude. Dude was awesome. He was just again, I called them. He was, very helpful. And he made it very clear to me, any questions you have, he made it clear he's not customer service. He cannot change things, but he will guide me anywhere. So if I have a question, if I have a question about anything, I can call him and he'll guide me to where I gotta get to do what I gotta do. So Folly, guys, if you're opening your new authority, you're gonna see an email coming in from a company, Folly, Folly. Do not push that aside. Give them a call. Let them know you just open your authority, and they will guide you in open your authority to help you, so you won't go through what I went through with the headache of the application, all that, with the Boc3 and all that, because they help you with everything. So that's what they got. So let's move on. Okay, so we got the clearinghouse out of the way. Chin checked my ass. It was $990. I was not expecting that, but we got it done. We have to get it done. I'm not opening my business. I'm not going to cut corners and have problems from the get. I'm going to do shit right. And I always said it, when I open my authority, shit's going to get done right. Sometimes it's better to pay and know that you're going to get shit right than to be playing around with the DOT and your company and you get violations. Once you start getting violations in the company, that's no bueno. So we got the clearinghouse out the way, the supervisor training out the way. So guess what, fellas? We just got everything out the way. All the requirements you need except for one, which is insurance, which is a big one. So now let's talk about, I know the video's getting long, guys, but this is an informative video. So now let's talk about insurance and the difference of getting insurance for your authority to just run for yourself with your own trailer, whether you got a flatbed, a reefer, whatever you got. And the difference of running for Amazon. So if you're just a guy that has your own trailer, you got your own truck, you're opening your authority, and you're just gonna run, you just need, oh yeah, you need a low board, but I've already had that, so I forgot to throw that in there. So you need to have access to a low board. There's multiple, there's the 123 low board, there's a DAT low board, the TQO low board, there's a lot of low boards, okay? Factory company, you're gonna need that as well. Foley's helping me with that. They're gonna guys, so like I said, they do it, they help you with everything. So you're also gonna need a factory company. So let's get back to the insurance, okay? So if you're just opening authority and you're just gonna run for yourself, you're gonna book your own loads, you own your trailer, your truck, all you need is $1 million of liability and you need $100,000 for cargo. Now, check this out. When you sign up at the FMCSA website and you're done, right before you pay, to tell you, according to what you filled out, you are required to insure your company with $750,000. If at the end of the application it says $300,000, you did something wrong, you need to go back, because the bulk of us are going to land on it's going to be the requirements, the minimum of $750,000 for liability. You don't want that. Do not shop for $750,000 because that's your ass, Mr. Postman. No broker is going to give you lows. They all going to require $1 million liability, $100,000 cargo. Now, unless you find you're a local guy, you got a dedicated run with the people that they're okay with the $750,000, fine. But why would you? Just get it for $1 million so you'll be free, and that's that. So if you're on your own, if you're just gonna have your own trailer, $1 million liability, $100,000 cargo. And here's another thing before I move on to the Amazon requirements. When you do not have an authority, you always have to have bobtail insurance. That's your tractor insurance when you're in bobtail, so you can move around, get to places, and you're insured. Well, when I called to get bobtail insurance, they told me I could not get bobtail insurance because I now have an authority. Once you have an authority, you cannot get bobtail insurance. Can you go around and lie and not say by authority and get it? Yeah, you can. But if you get in an accident, you're bobtail, and they find out that you have an authority and you have a bobtail insurance that's not linked to your authority, that's your ass, Mr. Postman. So don't cut corners, don't do, because a lot of guys, they'll go get their bobtail insurance because they don't want to pay the insurance yet. They're waiting for them to see. They'll go get bobtail insurance so they can go do their plates fast. What happens? Something, it's Murphy's Law. Anything that can happen will happen. So when I found that out, I couldn't get my bobtail insurance. So now I got to wait till I get insurance to bring my truck up to Orlando, because I am not going to drive my truck without insurance. I'm not cutting corners. I'm doing everything right. Now, let's get into Amazon requirements. Check this out, fellas. So Amazon, to haul freight for Amazon, relay, you need 4 coverages instead of just 2. Remember, the regular one is just $1 million liability, $100,000 cargo, which they include your bobtail insurance is all that's part of it. So here we go. For Amazon, you need $1 million liability, and then $2 million with it's called aggregate, which basically what it means is that it's a $1 million for the first occurrence, and then $2 million for the second occurrence. You see what I'm saying? It says aggregate, and they have a page you print out. You can actually send it to your insurance guy. Most of them know what the requirements are. You're gonna need a $1 million auto liability. That's kind of like a bobtail, I'm guessing, but it's called auto liability. That's what it's called, even though it's a truck. You need $1 million for that as well, coverage. And you're gonna need the $100,000 cargo coverage as well. That's 3. And then the 4th one, you're gonna need a $50,000 coverage for trailers, for the trailer, which is their trailers, because Amazon is letting you use their trailers. You know what I'm saying? They're responsible for their trailers, but they're gonna cover their ass, which is smart, because I would do the same thing if I was Amazon. You got so many people hauling your trailers. Trailers are not cheap, so they require you to get a $50,000, and they got a name for it. I think it's called I think it's called the trailer exchange. It's $50,000. You need to have a minimum of $50,000 trailer exchange cargo. So you got 4 things now. Your $1 million liability, $1 million auto liability, $100,000 cargo, and $50,000 for your interchange trailer coverage. Those are the requirements for Amazon. You know what I'm saying? So there it is, fellas. If you want to go to Amazon, that's what you need. So that is why your boy Raquel still does not have his insurance. Because what's happening here is that, you know, I'm gonna tell you real quick. If you got bad credit like me, I just don't have credit. It's hard to get a good rate because a lot of these big companies like Progressive, which is the best company. If you have good credit, go with Progressive. That's the way to go. They're the best. You just tell them on Amazon. You gotta tell them nothing else. They know what you need. So Progressive gave me a ridiculous quote. They quoted me like $38,000 a year. They wanted $15,000 down payment. You know, 11, and then they wanted 3 payments. Instead of paying month to month, they wanted $15,000. Then 3 months later, 11. Then 3 months later, like 11. I was like, yeah, that's not happening. Forget about that. So they were out of the question. And I've already gotten, and this is another thing, more information to let you know. The more you get quotes, I'm thinking that I'm going to shop around to get the best deal. So I already, by the time I got to the agent that I'm gonna go with her when she finds my coverage, I already had got 6 quotes. When I called her, this lady was very informative. She's been doing this over 20 years. I could tell she's an older lady. She was super nice. She didn't approach me. I approached her. She sent me a text message. She didn't call me. She goes, when you're done getting bombarded, because I know you're getting bombarded right now, if you haven't seen my text, I have over 20 years experience. This is a company I'm an agent for, which is called Truck Insurance Stop or something like that, or One Stop, something like that. Just give me a call so you can get what was the word that she used? An honest quote, that I deserve. So after I ignored, it was text. So after I went through like 6 quotes, I got Progressive. I got some other quotes for some other companies, people that were sending me messages. They were all quotes. There was only one quote that was crazy low, and this guy was a Colombian dude. I'm not trying to say that they're all bad, but he wasn't mentioning no company. He was communicating through text. He quoted me $19,000 for the year, which I found very low for Amazon. And he was quoting me that I'll be paying $1,800 a month. Because Amazon, with Progressive, they weren't even giving me the option. One of the companies quoted me at $32. They wanted $2,700 a month. Another one quoted me at $33. They wanted like $26. So it's it's going up and down like that. But this guy quoted me real low, so I didn't get a good vibe from him. So I put him on the burner. When I finally contacted this lady, she told me the reason that you're not getting a good deal is because you're getting too many quotes. And she explained to me that all those agents work with the same insurance companies, and they can see, they have a low board, they can see the DOTs that are getting quotes. So you can see all the times that I've gotten quoted in the process of a day. So they're like, this guy got a quote with so many people and he didn't book with none of them. So they pushed me to the side. You can blacklist yourself, where agents, you call them, they're like, yeah, give me your information. They'll put it in, they'll just push it to the side. They won't even try to bother to help you, because they're like, I'm not gonna waste my time with this guy because he's just shopping around. So she told me that she can help me as long as I stop getting calls. But the one thing that got me from her, where she got me, was that she asked me 2 questions that none of the other agents asked me, which were, where are you standing right now? How much do you have for down payment? What's your max? And what's the number you're looking for monthly to pay where you're comfortable? The only thing that matters, the 2 most important questions: how much you have for down payment, how much you want to pay a month where you're comfortable. Because a lot of these agents, they don't care. They're like, oh, well, it's $37,000, $50,000. They don't give a fuck. They're assholes. This lady actually said, hey, where are you standing right now? What do you have? What's your max? And I told her what my max was. I'm gonna tell you, for Amazon, you're gonna expect to pay anywhere from $4,000 to $5,000 for deposit, because you got extra coverage. Unless you got super good credit, you might end up going Progressive, get a real good rate. So that's what it is. We're gonna talk about also going with Amazon Relay, insurance being more, and where you think that if you have your own trailer, or if you own your trailer, you're fine. But if you're renting a trailer, you might think you're getting better rates, but you're not. We'll talk about that now. I know this video is real long, guys, but it's very informative. So I gave the lady a benefit of the doubt. She convinced me. There was yesterday. I spoke to her in the afternoon. She told me to stop. That's the only thing she asked me was to stop. She already knows what I have for down payment, the max, and what I'm looking for, the max monthly payment. She told me she can definitely get that for me. I just gotta give her time. I have time. I don't have the MC yet, the approval letter from the FMCSA, so we're waiting. So at this point, your boy Dark Hair is pretty much done with my part. Now we're gonna talk about numbers in a minute of what the money was at the end of this, not including fuel, because I also applied for another fuel card, which is the F2 fuel card, only because they're gonna factor, they're a factoring company as well, and why not get an extra fuel card? So if I do factoring with them, it's almost automatic approval for the fuel card. The fuel card is $3,000 a week, of credit line, and it's an EFS card. If you use for repairs, oil, all that stuff, oil changes, and it's a good deal. And they're only charging 1% to 1.5% of factoring, which is very reasonable. I think we were paying 3.3 or 3.5% back in the days when I was with ONT National Trucking. So I pretty much got everything covered. I've already done the application. Right now, I'm just in the waiting game, waiting for this lady, which her name is Janine, to call me and let me know, hey, I got your coverage. Let's get this paid. Let's get this done. And then we're just waiting on the FMCSA to approve my application so that I can start operating. All right, let's talk numbers now. So we got through the whole application process. It took me a whole freaking day, literally a whole day of just rigorous calling and doing applications. Again, if you guys open your authority, do not push aside folly. Once you got your US DOT number, call folly, because you might want to pay them their little cut and let them help you through the whole process. It'll save you a headache. So that's what it is. I'm gonna be making a video about folly, a separate video anyway. Okay, now let's talk numbers, fellas, because this is the part where everyone thinks it's like just open authority and do that. Y'all already see how long this video is and what I've talked about, all the shit I went through. It's stressful to get it, and then the waiting game. You gotta be prepared that if you open your authority, you can't quit your job, because you still gotta wait about a month to get your approval to start working. And remember the video that I did that before? What am I expecting? Once I get that approval from the FMCSA and I got my insurance and I'm ready to roll, I'm in with Relay, I might not have an issue waiting, because that's why I'm so adamant about going with Relay, because I know it's gonna happen. All these brokers are gonna see a brand new authority. Doesn't matter how long my company's been open, they're gonna see a brand new authority and they're gonna lowball me. They're gonna put me on a waiting period. They're not gonna want to give me lows, because that's what happens. I've spoken about it before. But with Relay, once you apply for Relay and you get in, you're in. And I know somebody inside, at Amazon. I know an agent that I worked for, a guy that I volunteered during the holidays in 2021, and I worked for 2 weeks for him because his driver was out. He called me and said, hey, he had 2 trucks running at Amazon. I did it. I got to meet one of the agents, and she gave me her contact, told me when I'm ready, call her. I've already contacted her. She's ready for me, so I just gotta get in. Because guys, you make any mistake on that application to Amazon, or you don't have none of those requirements, you're not getting in. And if you don't get in, you get denied. It's super hard to then get accepted, because they got a lot of people applying. All right, let me stop beating around the bush. Let me stop beating a dead horse and stop running around. Let's get to the fucking money, because that's what you guys. How much did it cost to open the authority? All right. So the total price of the DOT, Folly, which was the clearinghouse, they helped me with that in $990. That was $990. The Boc3 Form, the UCR, the ELD, it was $200. The Easy Pass, everything, just everything. And I'm gonna give you a price not including the fuel card, not including fuel. This is just the process of getting the authority. Now this is gonna include the price for the down payment for my insurance, and I'm gonna do the max. I'm gonna include the max number on there, and I'm just share with you. The max that I'm willing to put down for my insurance is $5,000. Okay, that's the max that I'm willing to put down payment. So I'm gonna just include that. She's telling me she can do better than that, but I'm just gonna go with the hardest number. So if it's lower, even better. So insurance, DOT, and everything else, not including the truck purchase. This is just the authority. I'm at right now at $9,170. That's where I'm at right now. That's how much I'm already in just for the authority. Okay, that's just for all the requirements, the stuff you're gonna need, the EOD, the clearinghouse, all that stuff. I'm at $9,170. Again, that is not counting fuel. Now my truck's gonna be running local in Florida, so we're not gonna be doing 600 miles a week. We're gonna do more, because my agent told me that right now nobody wants to go to Miami. Everybody hates going down there. So we're gonna do that because we're gonna be able to gross anywhere from $1,000 to $1,200 a day, working 5 days, which we're gonna make real good money. So I'm gonna be, I'm expecting to spend at least the way fuel prices are right now. I mean, think about it. I'm going down to Miami and back is 500 miles a day. That's practically what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's 1,000 miles a week. No, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I'm sorry, my math is wrong. It's all off. It's 2,500 miles a week, which is a lot for local. But guess what? We here to work. We're not here to try to slack. What she's telling me is that everybody wants to do little short local runs, and they're not paying. You probably get 2 little runs a day. So we're gonna do those Miami runs because we're trying to make money right now. So to recover everything that we did. So that's what it is, man. So for fuel, you want to have at least $3,000 for fuel for what we're gonna do. Now, if I was gonna do short runs, you're gonna spend probably $500 a week on fuel, maybe $700 where the fuel is now. $1,400, $1,500 you can get your fuel card, you're good to go. This isn't the case that the F2 fuel card doesn't send me the fuel card because I have some fuel cards, but I'm using them here at Maybach. I need to get a fuel card for my driver. So either I get approved by F2 fuel card, and I know they're gonna go by credit, but she's telling me that it's almost a guarantee approval. If she approves me, then I'm golden. I got $3,000 a week of credit, which I'm not gonna need. I'm probably just gonna need about $1,400, and we're golden. See what I'm saying? And so, I'm just telling you guys the price without including fuel. Oh yes, that's price. I'm sorry, that price also includes plates. I didn't talk about plates. So plates, if you're gonna get plates for just local, it's $800. It's about $800 total for just one state plates. But I'm getting the Porsche plates, which you'll be able to go pretty much anywhere because you never know. You never know. I'm not gonna just put all my eggs in one state. If I want to be able to go out, I'll go out. You never know. Me and Maybach gonna have a fallout. Something happens to his truck, and I just want to go out and work. So I am gonna pay you the full price, and the full price for plates is $550 for your 2290. It's $25 for your IFTA. You need to, and then it's about $1,500 for your plates. So I'm looking at about $2,000 for plates. Also, aside from the plates, you also need to pay the taxes for the purchase. Remember, I purchased the truck. I gotta pay the taxes. For whatever I pay for the truck, you gotta pay the taxes. It's usually in my state, it's $70 per thousand. So that's some money right there. And then the title transfer itself is like $160, the registration. So tag and all, we're looking at about almost $2,400 with plates. So that all that is included in the price. So we're at $9,170. That's everything. That's plates, ELD, some pass, pre-pass, everything. That's where I'm at right now, and I am ready to roll. The only thing that doesn't include is fuel, and of course a little cushion money that you have for the side for breakdowns. So, but if you include the truck, I dropped 20 stacks for that truck. You know what I'm saying? So basically, technically, I'm at 29,170 right now, but that's getting a truck as well, which I don't think is bad. I think it's actually good. So that's where your boy Dark Hill's at right now. Right now, I got everything done, guys. If you're still with me, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for listening. I know it's been long, but it's a very informative video. There's guys out there that want to get the authority, and they're gonna sit through this because they want to know what the fuck is come. And Dark Hell doesn't sugarcoat shit. I'm not gonna sit here and make it look like it's easy, because let me tell you, it's a headache. But is it worth it? Yes, it is. I'm glad that the fuel went up in a way that it pushed me to do this. I should have done this a long time ago. I probably would have been in a better situation right now. But again, I'm comfortable in Maybach, and that's what it is. Y'all see me rocking my Maybach hat. I'm in Maybach. I'm not going for Maybach until I got my truck paid off. Once I pay this truck off, then I'll be taking it over to Amazon, and I'll be parting ways with Maybach. Well, in a sense, I won't. I'll still have a truck running here for now, but it is what it is. In this life, we have to grow. We have to grow, and we have to go. So that's how it is, fellas. Thank you for watching the video. You guys got any questions, hit me up in the comments. I'll be more than happy to help you guys out, and I'll be taking you through my journey. I'm opening my authority as it goes. Like I said, I'm waiting on the insurance. Once I get that, I'll share with you guys how much the down payment was and what it is. And it's a journey, and I'll be sharing with you guys. So thanks again, guys. If you guys like the video, thumbs up. If not, thumbs down. It's all good. It's all love. I don't care. It's your boy Dark Hell, and I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. Peace.